In the captivating world of NHL, it's like every game unfolds a story right out of a comic book, complete with heroes who dazzle us with their skill and villains who, well, let's just say they make the game all the more interesting. Today, we're flipping the script to shine the spotlight on those players who, for one reason or another, have found themselves cast in the role of the league's most notorious. So, buckle up as we dive into the tales of the NHL's most disliked players. Theo Fleury. Theo Fleury, standing tall, figuratively, at 5'6", was more than just the heart and soul of Calgary. He was a testament to the saying, "It's not the size of the dog in the fight, but the size of the fight in the dog." Drafted last in '87 due to his stature. Fleury turned what many saw as a limitation into his most potent weapon. Imagine this whirlwind on skates darting across the ice, a bundle of energy that never knew when to quit. He wasn't just playing the game, he was redefining it, showing that heart and grit could outmatch height any day. Fleury's presence on the ice was electrifying. With every goal, every assist, he wasn't just scoring points. He was scoring points against every doubter, every skeptic who thought he was too small for the league. But there was more to Fleury than just his scoring prowess. He had this unique ability to get under the opponent's skin, to throw them off their game with just a word, a look, or a nudge. It was like he had a PhD in psychological warfare, knowing exactly what to say or do to tilt the scales in his team's favor. Playing against him was like trying to catch smoke with your bare hands, frustrating and futile. And when he wasn't making you miss, he was making you mad, turning the rink into his personal playground where he made the rules. Fleury was the guy you dreaded playing against but secretly wished was on your team, embodying the spirit of Calgary with every shift. His story wasn't just about hockey, it was about perseverance, about fighting for every inch, and proving that sometimes the biggest heroes come in the smallest packages. Chris Neil. Chris Neil, Ottawa's very own enforcer extraordinaire, was never the one lighting up the scoreboard with flashy goals. Instead, he lit up the rink in a different way, making his presence felt every single time he laced up his skates. Neil was like that reliable old truck that may not be the fastest or flashiest, but gets the job done when it matters most. Do you need a spark to turn the game around? Call on Neil. Need someone to stand up for a teammate? Neil's your guy. His job description was simple yet vital. Be the human equivalent of a thunderstorm on ice, ensuring the opposing team always kept one eye open for number 25. Every shift with Neil on the ice was a lesson in unpredictability. One moment he's laying a hit that echoes through the arena. The next, he's dropping the gloves, ready to dance with whoever dares challenge him. The Maple Leafs, in particular, had a special place in their game plan for dealing with Neil. It was like he had a season pass to get inside their heads, setting up camp and throwing a one-man party that only he enjoyed. Neil's knack for changing the game's flow was almost supernatural. He could sense when his team needed a jolt of energy, a physical boost to swing the momentum back in their favor, and he delivered every single time. It was this ability to influence the game without needing to score that made him such a valued teammate and a formidable foe. To play against Chris Neil was to be in a constant state of alertness, knowing full well that peace was not an option until the final buzzer sounded. In Ottawa, he was more than just a player. He was a force of nature, revered by fans and respected by teammates for his unwavering commitment to the Senators' cause. Marty McSorley. The bodyguard turned villain Marty McSorley. The name evokes a mix of awe and controversy in the hockey world. Known primarily as the stalwart guardian of Wayne Gretzky, McSorley carved out a niche for himself as the ultimate protector on the ice. His mission was simple yet paramount: safeguard the Great One, ensuring that Gretzky's brilliance was never dimmed by the shadows of those looking to take him down. McSorley, with his imposing presence, was a figure that commanded respect, or at least a second thought, before anyone dared to cross Gretzky. However, McSorley's journey took a dramatic and unfortunate detour. His role as an enforcer, which once made him a revered figure among teammates, became a point of infamy. The incident with Donald Brashear wasn't just a moment of aggression. It was a line crossed, turning a page in McSorley's career to a chapter he surely wished he could rewrite. What happened on the ice that day wasn't tough hockey. It was a lapse that had severe consequences, not just for Brashear, who suffered significantly, but for McSorley himself. The The fallout was immediate and intense, with McSorley facing legal repercussions and an indefinite pause on his professional journey. This episode serves as a somber lesson and a poignant reminder of the thin ice upon which the role of the enforcer skates. The transition from being a celebrated protector to a cautionary tale is swift and unforgiving. McSorley's legacy, forever entwined with both his contributions to the sport and the controversy that ended his career, highlights the complex, often blurred lines between defending and overstepping, between being a hero and being viewed as a villain. It's a narrative that underscores the ever-present balance players navigate between passion for the game and the moments that can redefine a lifetime's work in the blink of an eye. Todd Bertuzzi. A career overshadowed Todd Bertuzzi, a powerhouse on the ice, saw his career and reputation take a nosedive following an infamous incident with Steve Moore. Bertuzzi's actions that day led to severe consequences for Moore and sparked a debate that transcended the sport. Despite Bertuzzi's attempts to make amends, the shadow of that moment lingered, making him one of the most polarizing figures in hockey history. Sean Avery, the ultimate antagonist. Oh, Sean Avery. Where do we even start with this guy? If the NHL had a Hall of Fame for troublemakers, Avery would be inducted on the first ballot, no questions asked. This dude didn't just play hockey. He was like the mastermind of mischief on ice, turning every game into his own personal stage for chaos. Blocking goalies? Check. Stirring the pot with outrageous comments? Double check. Avery wasn't just playing against teams, he was playing against the whole league, bending the rules so much that the NHL had to invent a new one just for him. Yeah, you heard that right. The Sean Avery rule is a thing because Avery decided to redefine what it means to screen a goalie, turning it into a one-man show that had everyone from fans to officials scratching their heads. But here's the kicker. Avery's antics, as entertaining or infuriating as they might have been, came with a cost. It's like he was on a mission to be the NHL's ultimate antagonist. And boy, did he commit to the role. Teammates often didn't know whether to pat him on the back or facepalm. Opponents marked their calendars for a chance at payback. And fans, well, let's just say Avery's jersey wasn't exactly a bestseller outside of his own fan base. Avery's career is a wild reminder that hockey is as much about character as it is about skill. He showed us that grabbing the spotlight isn't always about scoring goals. Sometimes, it's about how well you can play the villain. And while Avery embraced his role as the bad guy with open arms, it's a path that left him standing in a spotlight all his own, proving that sometimes the price of infamy is a legacy that's as controversial as the man himself. Love him or loathe him, Avery's story is a fascinating chapter in the NHL's book, a reminder that every story needs its villain, but not every villain gets a hero's ending. These players remind us that the NHL isn't just about scoring goals and winning games. It's a stage where dramas unfold, where villains emerge to challenge the heroes, and where every shift tells a story. Love them or hate them, these players have left an indelible mark on the league, proving that sometimes it's the most controversial figures who become the most unforgettable. What's your take on the NHL's most notorious players? Drop a comment below, hit the like button if you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, and don't forget to subscribe for more hockey stories. Let's keep the conversation going. After all, every story needs its villain.